Hello everybody, and welcome. As always, I am Bit, and today we are gonna tackle a new Total War Warhammer 2 campaign. So, let's just go to it. So, what campaign should we do? Well, on Friday I had a really bad job interview, which was kind of depressing. And when I'm depressed, I tend to do something that is just playing something that I have already played. And if I try to start something new, I tend to get annoyed at the new things I have to learn. And so I bought the DLC, the Vampire Coast DLC for Total War Warhammer 2. So, about the Vampire Coast. All I know about the Vampire Coast is what I saw in several battles, online battles, because Okay, give me a second. Should be good. Okay. Give me a second. Okay. So, what was I saying? Ah, yes. About the Vampire Coast. So the Vampire Coast has four generals. Luthor Archon, Count Noctilus, Arenessa Saltspire, and Silastra. So, what to say about these lords? So Luthor Archon, first of all, is a spellcaster. Second of all, he is has a Death Shriek Terrorgeist, which means he is an excellent duelist because he has a ranged weapon from above, and also having a terror-inducing mobility unit that is a strong single entity makes him extremely strong. Count Noctilus is kind of really tanky. He has an Albert, so he's good against large, and can get a Necrophax Colossus. So this is good as a lord, but on campaign, being tanky isn't really that complicated. So yeah, these two, being both good duelists as well as spellcasters, makes them a really good overall lords. The other two, Arenessa is kind of the worst of the various lords because she's not she's nothing. She's not tanky. She doesn't have magic, and yeah, she has nets, but nets are good against large or expensive entity. And in campaign, you find stacks of basic infantry to defeat. So yeah, she's not great. And Silastra is an ethereal lord, the only one existing. And ethereal units are extremely interesting because they have very high physical defense at the cost of a very low health pool. But since you have access, being vampires, to healing through invocation of the Neck, you can just get that low health pool to value, since you can heal a great deal for these characters. And so, if you would want to just have a streamlined, strong campaign, you could choose either Luthor Archon or Count Noctilus. If you wanna have fun, you could choose Arenessa or Silastra. Today we are gonna go for Silostra. Now, unfortunately, the loading screen sometimes is really long. It has been a tiny bit improved since last time, especially on the Cyclone campaign. So that's nice. Finally, they did something to improve the playability of this game. But you know, from what I gather since I started play a campaign on Sunday, is that the Vampire Coast campaign is very different from an average campaign of any other faction, since you are pushed toward a more piratey game style, meaning you are somewhat of a, what are they called? Roaming faction rather than a expansionist faction. So you have your horde, which you can improve, creating several buildings, several different buildings on your horde, and that improves your overall capability to sustain as well as improve your combat capabilities. And then you have your core, let's say, your focused main place where you can build an army. And the rest you can just raise the dead. And the more you just slaughter enemies as well as your own troops, the more raise the dead is a good spell. That being said, we have to take a look at what the Vampire Coast offers early on to defeat the average stack of enemy units. Now, for me, the average stack of enemy units is something like out of a 20 unit stack, of course, one lord, then from 10 to 14 infantry basic units, and then usually they are supported by some skirmisher from 4 to 6. And on top of that, they either have one spellcaster or two other heroes, basic heroes that improve combat capabilities, nothing special. And then possibly some cavalry. Now, every faction has its unique style of gameplay, but that's what you should focus on defeating. And so you need something to defeat a lot of infantry. And that tactic is sometimes difficult to pull out. And so I will need to find out what's good against infantry on the Vampire Coast roster, early on especially. Because for what I know, the zombie pirate backhand mob are not really good at infantry fights, so if you lose the infantry fights on the full roster, then you need to find something else.
I have been robbed! My chance to perform for the Phoenix King stolen! But I will have my audience. My star is in the ascendant, and the world shall hear me sing again. With every tide, my power grows. But even I must begin in humble surroundings. Men from the old world make their colonies in the south. They shall become willing patrons of the arts. My beloved drowned, loyal stagehands and understudies will need fresh material. For that, we head to the heart of the jungle. away from Stromfels and into the realms of the cold-blooded ones. A difficult audience. To the north and stronger tides, the new world offers opportunities for a budding starlet such as myself. There is treasure, spoils, and an ignorant yet keen audience. If I cannot sing for the elves of Ulthuan, then I shall dazzle their dark kin instead. I shall perform for the Dreadlords, for alliances, no matter how fleeting, can be made. But if they do not applaud, I'll simply take their realms. This is all just a taster, a pre-show treat to the real performance, for I will dominate the beast. The Merworm will be my prop to see Ulthuan's doom. Then I will sing to the elves and see King Finnabar drown!
Great stuff. So, let's see. Yes, I think I know everything about this stuff. Now, the Pirate Coves are an interesting way to play. This means that you don't have to conquer a settlement to create a base. You can make something similar to what's it called for the Skaven? The Undercity, but only for coastal settlements. And from there you can build some buildings that improve both your standings on the infamy line, as well as giving some either gold or creating vampiric corruption or other things that are really useful. So, beyond that, again, I started playing the Vortex campaign because I saw that for this faction, you don't actually have to win through the various Vortex rituals, which are kind of boring. And so, let's see what should we do. First of all, okay, so what do we have? So, defeating the Skaggy, then treasure maps, and yeah, so these are very hard matchups so far that I don't want to engage. So let's see the treasure map that we have. Following this verse does not make you a pawn. Simply look south to the highest point of dawn. And it's in this general region. So, what's the highest point of dawn? Ah, good question. So, we should attack the Ziggurat of Dawn, but on the other side we should also start to conquer Sildrator as to expand our realms, even though we have an unpleasant climate here. What else? So about the roster. Now, Zombie Pirate deckhand mob as well as with deckhand mobs with polearms are not really good, so I don't think I should get this chain of structure, especially because this settlement not being a main city means I can get to the depth card. So I think I'm gonna just demolish this. And let's see here. Sounds good. Let's just get some units just for fun. In the end, they will all die, probably. Okay, so they have more other champions and then more others. So let's see how this is gonna work. Now we have Morgul Hunters, Morguls, which is gonna be our anti-infantry baseline. Then we have several zombie gunnery mob with handguns and with pistols, which are gonna deal with most of the infantry, but the problem about guns is that they have a really straight line of sight, and so they get easily obstructed. And beyond that, well, we have the Carronade to force our opponents to come to us. We have Bloated Corpse to destroy one of the 2 units of Marauders champions. And then we have the Sirens to hold the line, as well as 2 more ethereal units. So yeah, I like our chances. Let's see, where should we put ourselves? There is very little good terrain for my guns. So let's just create a generic battle line over here. Then we can put the canary mob over here and here. Here, come on.
From salt. Above deck.
Then you can stay here.
We serve.
Okay. Carronades.
Deckhands.
So it's kind of hard to decide where to put each thing. So now, again, line of sight is a huge problem for this faction. So let's do it like this for the moment. Now, somewhat knowing the AI tends to put on the right side of their formation their best units. So we should put the anti-infantry on our left side, and then see what the rest is gonna be. So yeah, Dotted Corps, you can start your marathon. Then you can move here, you can move here. You can advance. So let's see. The Bloated Corpse is kind of vulnerable to... Okay, the unit's detail is not working. It's vulnerable to skirmisher fire, but it's not gonna be that much of a problem. Look at that value. So yeah, time to move. Okay, you 2 can move here, actually start shooting. You can just attack here. You 2 can attack here. You can attack these guys. These guys can just die, honestly. So let's see what kind of magic we have. We have a breath spell. Sounds good. And I guess let's give some accuracy at that Carronade. You can keep shooting. And let's finish this. Okay, let's summon some Knight Errants. Okay, so this is gonna be it. Yeah, great. Game over. Now, having so many ethereal units, including cavalry units, something that I think the the pirate coast really misses is some mobility, some efficient mobility rather, because they have the scurvy dogs, but they kind of not work too well against several archery units. So having a summon that can deal with skirmisher is really nice. And possibly one of the only reasons why Silostra is playable in multiplayer. Because the lore of the deep magic is not so good. So let's see how much value this floated corpse get. That's not bad.
Sack it!
So we could establish a pirate cove. And I'm not sure because we are kind of close to Hexatal. And Hexatal is problematic. But for now, let's just occupy.
Madame Silostre Dearfin.
And now. Here.
Dearfin.
So let's do this. And we can move right now. So let's see if there is something to get. Now. Of this, so having a mobile base of operation to build your army with is really good, but about the army, first of all, the deckhand mobs aren't really powerful, and the depth guard are strong, but they are low in numbers, so they can get just annihilated. Then gunnery mob and gunnery mob with handguns can be just raised from the dead, so there's not real much value to get them. Then zombie pirate gunnery mob with bombs are strong, but they are really short range. And I might want some longer range to really deal with them, with a ton of infantry at least. Hand cannons, I don't know how they work. They are anti-large, so I suppose they are something of an alternative to the carronades. And I don't think in campaign you need more than one unit that deals with large. The gunnery white is a really useful unit, which I'm gonna aim towards. The Rotten Prometheans gunnery mob. The Rotten Prometheans are really tanky, but they don't really deal a lot of damage, so it's kind of a trade-off. And on the late game, you can find something better to do with your money. Hellbats and deck jobbers are way too squishy to be efficient on several battles. The deck shriek Terrorgeist is another point, but it's gonna be very late until we decide to get it. Mortars are an anti-infantry tool, and they are extremely efficient at that, especially against an early campaign enemy. So I think that's what I aim to do. Carronades, again, anti-large, useful, but their usefulness is very limited. And deck gunners are somewhat similar to Carronades, meaning they are powerful, but they deal a lot of damage to single entities and single enemies, while the mortars have more splash damage, which is effective against infantry. Then animated hulks can be useful, but having Morghuls is a viable alternative. And the Sirens are probably the best early game infantry that the Pirate Coast can roster. Morghul Hunter is a hero, so it's always useful. The Rotting Leviathan is, again, really tanky, not much of a fighter against stacks of infantry. So yeah, we are gonna aim for mortars. But for now, we should go for... Let's see. I'm guessing one of these things. Minus upkeeps is really useful, as well as Vampiric Corruption. Campaign movement rate is marginally useful. Casualty replenishment rate and pirate crew recruitment capacity can be useful. Unit experience gain per turn for units that tend to die a lot and just get destroyed isn't that powerful as it would be for other factions, but the pirate crew grow might be what I actually need. Especially because right now we have 1 of growth out of 20, so even though we are gonna get to 2 next turn, I believe this is gonna be the most valuable long-term investment. So let's do that, and then let's see what else. So, what do we have? We have the Lord of the Deep, which has nothing. Sorry, I completely misread. So Spiteful Shot is gives accuracy. It's powerful against single entity, but I doubt it's gonna be really valuable against stacks of infantry. Though it can be for sure powerful. Then a passive ability that deals damage to combatants map-wide while you cast. That's not bad. The Tide Cold is a breath spell, which is always an efficient way to deal damage to a single unit of infantry. And the upgraded increases armor piercing damage, so that's gonna be probably our target. Then what do we have? A unit of Rotting Prometheans. Rotting Prometheans are tanky, but they are not really a powerful summon, because they just don't deal damage, and so you have a unit that just tanks damage instead of actually dealing it for a limited amount of time. And that's not a big value. Then we have a hex on an area that decreases melee attack, and the upgraded version has even less melee attack. Now that's not bad against a blob of infantry, but it's gonna be marginally powerful because it's still an semi-expensive spell, then what do we have on the later stages? Let's see. Vangeist Revenge is a wind spell. Now, my personal experience with winds is that you have to set them up, and that's not always an easy thing to do. Especially because you could just cast several breath spells to obtain the same result. The only really powerful, which is not even a wind spell, is the Burning Head, in my experience at least. Then the Kraken Pool is Vortex. Vortex tend to be powerful and can just demolish some units, but this appeared to be expensive. Even at 17 Winds of Magic, it's kind of expensive. But we're gonna try it. And then what do we have on the red 3? The one that improves overall efficiency of the units. We have an area of effect that increases leadership and damage. And even more leadership. Now, when you consider like something of the sort of stand your ground that gives melee defense, I believe that's just gonna be a better value, so I'm not really aiming to get this ones. Then what do we have? Same old things here. So yeah, I think we can just go for the magical tree. And let's see. A damn paladin, what can he do? So, oof. Okay, 20% ward save is a lot. A bonus versus infantry and extra melee attack is really good. Frostbite attacks. Okay, give me a second. Frostbite deals minus speed, which might not be something we are interested in against stacks of infantry commanded by the AI. So then we have Foe Seeker as well as Deadly Onslaught and Replenish Troops. So I guess all these 4 are really good. And beyond that, maybe replenishing troops is gonna be the best, the most valuable asset. But let's start with the word save. And then we can't recruit anything. We can get some raised death, but let's wait on that. Okay, on the technology tree, let's see. So from what I saw, there are valuable assets on all the 3 main trees of technology. But since it takes only 3 turns to get the first element in each tree, I feel like that's gonna be the most valuable asset to get. So we have a second map, but it's too far, so let's just call it a day. Okay.
Join me.
So, how do the maps actually work? Because
An audience.
should I be in the province where the map hints at, and do an excavation, or should I be in a specific place?
Mirror, mirror,
So let's come here
hide and sing.
and try to dig. Okay, apparently it doesn't work this way, or maybe I just
Siren of the
messed that up. So let's see if we can recruit something. Nothing really. Nothing to do here. So let's go for the mortars. And
The storm siren comes.
huh.
Of course.
So where to go, what to do?
Denied.
The Skaggy should be destroyed.
Listen.
So let's see if we can get an ambush. Actually, do we even have ambush
Stumble
on this character? Yes, we do.
Onward, stagehands.
Okay. So might as well get some units. Nice.
Witness my greatness.
Okay, so I sort of hate how the ambush map always have a sort of uneven terrain that it's never favorable for a big ranged play. So in that case, let's get a carronade up here together with our zombie gunnery mob.
Gallery mob.
Do not obstruct each other. And then we're gonna form our main battle line over here with some gunners over here and over. I guess we can get these two over here together with a couple of bloated corpses. Then mortals, sirens, and these two guys. Okay. Everything's ready. Let's go.
Gallery mob.
You can start shooting if you can see him. Which you probably can't because this terrain sucks.
From salt. I.
Can you see him now? I hope you can.
Gunnery mob. From salt.
Okay, bloated corpse, do your thing.
Gunnery
Come on, bloated corpse, do something better. Don't get surrounded.
corkscrew.
Okay, that's good enough. And that's good enough. Ah, that wasn't the best. Let's see this one. Ah, not bad.
Always crew.
So you three can move on.
Gunnery mob.
You can move to the side, you can choose here.
Madam Captain!
Okay, who told there to be there?
Gunnery mob. Kill. Above deck.
Thunder! Salt spikes!
Okay, so we are demolishing everybody.
Sons of Wetonia.
My audience!
Paladin of Bretonia!
Gunnery mob. Moving at pace. We'll be back. Awaiting orders. The lion's will. Gunnery mob.
Okay,
Bones and flesh. Bold knights. Sea prey.
and that's it. So, this is a nice start, better than the one I started on Monday, where I started with Iron and Sassol Spire and my stack of units got destroyed like 3 or 4 times. So
Madame Diafin!
let's just get the money, because I don't care about replenishing these guys. Yay, more treasure.
Madame, I lost a dear friend.
Okay, so now the cavalry is really powerful, but I don't think I'm gonna be upgrading through this path until I can I guess this might be the target, but we should just wait, and who cares? Let's go for, I guess, tight call. Or maybe Fog of the Damned. Well, let's go with Kiss of Death and who cares? And yeah, I guess Fog of the Damned as well.
Has potential.
Then here we can start with extra melee stuff. And now we can finish the job. Actually, stop here. Nothing to recruit.
I need more crowd. Witness my greatness.
I'm almost sorry to have wasted the 2 bloated corpses right now. So finally we have a decent terrain. Let's see how we should use it. So the enemy is coming from there. So we can just deploy the old-fashioned way over here.
Bones and flesh.
Okay, good enough.
Above deck.
We should be in range, maybe? Yes, we are. So let's start shooting the Marauder Chieftain. And let's see this guy getting blasted.
We need mates for the
So
slaughter
close.
groups.
Okay, let's increase the precision and see what effect that does.
Kill!
Come on, carronades. That's a miss. And now they are probably obstructed by themselves. Ugh.
Corpse crew.
Okay, I'll admit this was not my best display of good and efficient placement of my units.
Paladin of Britannia. Blood and salt.
Oh, come on, guys! I told you to attack this guy.
Paladin of Britannia. This was not meant to be.
How are they still obstructed? Seriously?
Yes, master. Landlubber. Go. Gunnery mob. Mandax. All aboard.
Okay. Much better now. I hope. So let's spawn these damn knights.
See magic!
Come on.
Paladin of Britannia!
Hide! Curse!
Glory calls!
Attack! Hear myself!
Okay, let's see how this goes.
Go goes on!
Okay. So this
This was not meant to be!
Fog of the Dam lasts a really long time. Maybe I underestimated it. Okay, Morgul Hunters, you are taking too much damage. You can shoot these guys. Okay, so let's just finish wiping out the Skaggy and then we will call it a day for this episode.
Victory!
Ah, why not?
Madams, I lost a dear fan. Dear fan, let us postpone.
So it lasts for 35 seconds. I'm not sure if it's worth it to get it upgraded, even though it's a big mana cost reduction. We'll see.
Else potential.
Okay, so
Ah, my friend.
so now we can get some mortars, which, even though I really want to get to the monoliths of the fallen gods before before any trouble from the Skaggy arises, at the same time we have kind of a problem here. So minus 17 means that in 2 turns there's gonna be a rebellion. That's not good.
Silostra!
So
Join me.
I guess we can just conquer Skaggy and Port River and Swamp Town, and instead creating more a base of operation with the... what are they called? The
Will
ports, the...
listen.
well, never mind. Okay, actually with this ritual
Moi.
we have more time. One more turn at least. So...
Mirror. Mirror.
let's get those mortars. Oh, only two. Well, then never mind.
An audience. I need an audience.
This poor guy has only 133 HP and he still tries to raid my region. What an asshole.
Behold.
Ooh, more Marauder champions to explode. I love it. I like this choke point for my bloated corpses. I wanna see it. So, what we are gonna do is just place mortar here,
Gunnery mob!
gunnery mob on the side,
Gunnery mob!
and then our main force will be some in this side, some on that side, so they don't get in the way of my shooting range.
Listen and tremble.
And then the bloated corpses are gonna go on a special mission. Ooh, come on! You too? Okay, that was 2 units. That was 1 unit. And now the last bloated corpse. Come on, start running.
This was not meant to be! A bolt of James!
Ah, that was terrible.
Our master desert us!
But so much fun as well.
God's watch! Do not disgrace us! Our master desert us! Become my ground! This was not meant to be! Knights of Bretonia!
Let's charge! Bam!
It's not meant to be!
And GG. So yeah, bloated corpses are a lot of fun.
Madams, I lost
So now, okay, I seriously hope that the rebellion is gonna start near the monolith of the fallen gods and not near the ziggurat of dawn, but you never know.
Bromfels favors this one.
Let's see what the notification says. Of course, it's gonna be the ziggurat. Great. But, well, this is gonna be a problem for another day. For today, thanks to all of you for watching, and I hope to see you on the next. Also, if you didn't know, I usually stream on Twitch. You can find me there on Monday, Wednesday and Friday from 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Europe Central Time. So you can find all the information there, also in the description. Everything else, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.